Story Survive.
Welcome back to Story Survive. We're now in the heart of the Enfield Poltergeist case, where the phenomena reaches its most intense, where the evidence becomes impossible to ignore, where professional investigators find themselves confronted with the impossible. If you watched parts 1 and 2, you understand the situation. The Hodgson family is experiencing genuine paranormal activity, or at least something that appears to be genuinely paranormal. Professional investigators have confirmed that something real is happening in that house. Maurice Gross and Guy Lyon Playfair have documented phenomena that defies normal explanation. But nothing they've witnessed so far compares to what's about to happen. It's now late October 1977. We're 2 months into the investigation. The phenomena has been escalating steadily, and now it reaches a point where denial becomes impossible, where skeptics must confront evidence they can't easily dismiss, where the case transforms from interesting mystery into genuine nightmare. The knocking that started this entire ordeal has evolved. It's no longer just tapping on walls. It's now thunderous pounding that shakes the entire house. Neighbors hear it from outside. Visitors hear it the moment they enter the door. It's undeniable. It's constant. Sometimes it comes multiple times per night. Sometimes it goes on for hours. But the knocking is just the beginning. Objects are now moving with increased force and frequency. Furniture that weighs hundreds of pounds shifts across rooms. A chair moves across the floor while Janet sits on it. She's lifted up. The chair slides underneath her. She's transported from one location to another by an invisible force. Multiple witnesses observe this. Multiple investigators document it. It's captured in photographs taken immediately after the incident occurs. This isn't something that can be easily explained as a trick. This isn't something a 13-year-old girl could accomplish alone. This requires force, precision, purpose. The Hodgson family is being terrorized. Every night brings new incidents. Every day brings new fears about what will happen after dark. The children are becoming traumatized. Sleep is nearly impossible. They're afraid to be alone. They're afraid to sleep. They're afraid of what might happen next. And then the physical attacks begin. Janet reports being thrown from her bed in the middle of the night. She wakes up on the floor. She's been picked up, she's been moved, she's been attacked by something she cannot see. The first time it happens, it's shocking. The second time, it's terrifying. By the 5th time, it's a regular occurrence. Margaret experiences the same thing. She's grabbed, she's pushed, she's physically assaulted by invisible hands. Her mother finds bruises on her body, red marks where something has gripped her, marks that don't match anything normal, marks that appear in places she couldn't have caused herself. Maurice and Guy begin investigating whether these injuries are genuine. They bring in medical professionals. They examine the marks carefully. The verdict is clear. These injuries are real. They're not self-inflicted. They're not caused by normal means. Something is physically attacking these children. The investigators begin to focus even more intensely on Janet. She's not just experiencing the phenomena, she's at the center of it. More phenomena occurs around her than anyone else. More incidents happen when she's present. More injuries appear on her body. Maurice and Guy begin to wonder if Janet is the source, if her presence somehow triggers or amplifies the phenomena, if she's the focal point through which this force operates. They conduct experiments. They isolate Janet. They separate her from the rest of the family and monitor what happens. Does the phenomena continue? Does it stop? Does it change? What they discover is disturbing. Some phenomena continues even when Janet is alone and isolated. Some phenomena seems to require her presence. The relationship between Janet and the phenomena is complex. It's not simple. It's not easily explained. The phenomena seems to have intelligence. It seems to respond to commands. It seems to react to questions. The investigators ask it questions, and the knocking patterns change, as if something is answering. They develop a system: 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no. The knocking responds appropriately to questions posed by the investigators. It's as if they're communicating with something, as if there's an intelligence behind the phenomena. And then the voice returns. The voice of Bill Wilkins, the supposed dead man who once lived in the house. The voice comes through Janet again, speaking in that deep masculine tone that shouldn't be coming from a teenage girl, making claims, providing information, seeming to communicate a message. The investigators record these sessions. They attempt to verify the information provided by the voice. They research local records. They confirm that some of the details are accurate, that Bill Wilkins did exist, that he did live in the house, that he did die there. How could a 13-year-old girl know these details? How could she produce a voice so completely different from her own? How could she possess information about a dead man that isn't in public records? The investigators are confronted with mysteries within mysteries, layered impossibilities that resist simple explanation. Meanwhile, the publicity continues to grow. The case is now being covered by major newspapers. Television crews are showing up. Journalists are camping outside the house. The story has captured the public imagination. A family haunted by something supernatural. Professional investigators confirming genuine phenomena. A case that seems to prove that the paranormal is real. The media presence becomes overwhelming. The street outside the house is crowded with onlookers, with paranormal enthusiasts, with curiosity seekers hoping to witness something supernatural. The privacy of the Hodgson family has been completely obliterated, and the phenomena continues to intensify. November 1977 arrives. We're now 3 months into the investigation. The activity reaches its absolute peak. The most dramatic incidents occur. The most compelling evidence is documented. The most inexplicable phenomena manifests. Investigators witness levitation. Janet is lifted off her bed. She hovers above the mattress. Multiple witnesses observe this. Photographs are taken. The image appears to show Janet suspended in midair above her bed. How is this possible? How can a person levitate? How can something accomplish this? The photographs themselves become controversial. Skeptics claim they're double exposures, they're tricks, they're hoaxes. But the investigators who were present maintain they witnessed genuine levitation. They claim the photographs capture something real. Objects are thrown across rooms with increasing force. A toy train set is hurled across a room with enough speed to cause injury if it hits someone. Who threw it? No one is visible. No one is near it. It launches from the ground with velocity that requires significant force, yet nothing visible causes it to move. The investigators begin to consider possibilities they initially rejected. What if this isn't a hoax? What if this isn't psychological? What if this is something genuinely paranormal? What if the phenomena is real? But even as they consider these possibilities, doubts creep in. Other investigators are arriving at different conclusions. Some believe fraud is occurring. Some believe Janet is somehow creating the phenomena through unconscious psychokinetic power. Some believe the entire case is a combination of suggestion, hysteria, and family manipulation. The debate among investigators intensifies. Experts disagreeing about interpretations, disagreeing about causes, disagreeing about whether genuine paranormal activity has been proven or whether there are still reasonable alternative explanations. One investigator who proves particularly important to the investigation is a man named Dr. John Hasted, a physicist, a scientist with no paranormal bias, someone trained to look at evidence objectively and draw conclusions based on physical laws and observable phenomena. Dr. Hasted arrives at the house to conduct his own investigation. He brings scientific equipment. He runs experiments. He attempts to determine whether the phenomena can be explained by normal physical processes or whether something genuinely paranormal is occurring. What he discovers both confirms and complicates the case. Some of the phenomena he observes seems genuinely difficult to explain through conventional means. Objects move in ways that shouldn't be physically possible for a girl Janet's size and strength to accomplish. Yet when he watches carefully, he also notices inconsistencies. Moments where the phenomena seems to pause when he's watching most carefully. Moments where it seems to respond to his skepticism by becoming less active. Dr. Hasted eventually concludes that while some genuine phenomena may be occurring, it's mixed with probable fraud or unconscious creation of phenomena by Janet. The case is not clearly paranormal, but it's also not clearly explained. The investigation enters a strange phase. No longer can anyone claim this is definitively proven paranormal activity, but no one can claim it's definitively proven fraud either. The case remains genuinely ambiguous, genuinely mysterious. Yet the incidents continue. Janet's suffering intensifies. The family's stress reaches breaking points. The media continues to descend. The curiosity seekers continue to gather. The investigation continues to expand. And the phenomena continues to baffle everyone involved. By December 1977, as we approach the end of the year, something becomes clear. This investigation is not going to reach a simple conclusion. This case is not going to be definitively solved. The mysteries are not going to be easily answered. What is clear is that the Hodgson family has experienced something genuinely traumatic. Whether that something is paranormal or psychological or some combination of both remains disputed. But the trauma is real, the suffering is real, the mystery is real. As the investigation approaches its most heated phase, as the media frenzy reaches its peak, as the case generates international attention, the next question becomes increasingly urgent. What happens next? Where does this case go from here? In Part 4, we'll explore the doubts that begin to creep into the investigation, the skepticism that becomes impossible to ignore, the uncomfortable questions that investigators must ask about whether they've been witnessing genuine phenomena or an elaborate hoax, the moment when the case begins to unravel. Make sure you subscribe to Story Survive and turn on notifications, because Part 4 will challenge everything you thought you understood about the Enfield Poltergeist. It's a turning point in the investigation, a moment when everything becomes more complicated, more ambiguous, more impossible to believe. Thank you for joining me on Story Survive. I'll see you in Part 4.